Okay, let's talk lesson 16, which is multiplying polynomials. We're going to do the multiplying first. And then I'll make a separate video for dividing polynomials. It's two very different topics, and they're going to be a little bit lengthy. So the first one that we're going to talk about is multiplying polynomials. Okay, so let's just learn by doing here. We're going to say we have to multiply. It's not a very good y. Multiply. We have 2x plus 2. Okay, so here I have a binomial because I have two terms inside of it. And I multiply that to 3x squared minus 5x plus 2. Let me fix this too. Okay, so if I change colors here, these back-to-back parentheses here, so I have a set of parentheses and then another set of parentheses. That's the indication that I'm going to be multiplying. Okay, so that's going to tell me what operation I'm performing. And then what I'm looking here is I have this binomial, which means I have two terms. And in my second set of parentheses, I've got 1, 2, 3 terms. So that gives me a trinomial. And I'm just writing the number of terms in each set of parentheses because now I see that I'm taking two terms and I'm multiplying it by 3 terms. So when I set up my box, or my array, if you want to use the fancy math language, I'm going to be using a 2 by 3 box. So let me show you what that would look like. And that's not what I wanted to do at all. So we're going to set up our box, and I'm going to make some lines in it. Okay, so do we see here, just take a look, I have 1, 2, so there's my 2 by 1, 2, 3. So there's my 2 by 3 box. And I'm going to write in my terms, okay? So I'm going to put 2x on the outside there, and I'm going to put my positive 2 here. The stylus is catching, okay? And I'm going to take my 3 terms and write it across the top of my box. So I'm going to put, oh my goodness gracious. Bad 3x squared minus 5x. So making sure to pay attention to the sign in front of your term. So see, I have this minus 5x. That tells me that my 5x is going to be a negative when I write it in my array. And then a positive 2. Okay, so now I'm going to use multiplication, my properties of exponents, to fill in my boxes. So this first one, I'm going to take 2x times 3x squared to fill in, and I'll have a product of 2 times 3 gives me 6, and x times x squared gives me x cubed, or x to the 3rd power. And let me fix that 3. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this 2x here and I'm going to multiply it by the negative 5x. So negative 5 times 2 gives me a product of negative 10, right? And then x times x gives me a product of x squared. Now I take this negative 2 still and I'm going to multiply it by the 2. 2 times 2 gives me a product of 4, and the x times nothing just still gives me a product of x. Now I'm on my second row. Okay, so now I'm going to be multiplying this 2 here by this 3x squared. So 2 times 3 gives me a product of 6, and then the x squared comes along. Now I have 2 times negative 5x, so 2 times negative 5 gives me a product of negative 10. Remember to keep that x along. And now I'm going to have 2 times 2. Well, 2 times 2 is product of 4, right? So now I've done all the multiplication, but what I have to do is find my like terms. So, because I'm going to put my like terms together. So here, let's make this a little bit fatter. Here I have like terms. And here I have like terms, okay? So now I'm going to remember to write my final product in standard form. Standard form being your highest exponent to your lowest exponent, ending in your constant. So I'm going to start with my 6. Oh, that's unfortunate. So I'm going to start with my 6x cubed, right? And now when I'm looking at my like terms here, if I have negative 10x squared plus 6x squared, my signs are different. I have a negative 10 and a positive 6, so I'm going to subtract my numbers. My bigger number being negative, so I'll have negative 4x squared. Now I'm going to look at these sets of like terms. So I have negative 10x and positive 4x. Again, I have different signs, so I'm going to subtract them. 10 minus 4 gives me 6, and my bigger number is negative. And then the plus 4 just comes, no other like term to go with it. So that would be my final product written in standard form. Okay, so your takeaways, what you have to know. So when multiplying, one thing is you need to set up your array. That is just awful handwriting. You set up your array, okay? Then you multiply the rows and columns. Okay. Then we're going to add up our like terms. And last but not least, we're going to write the final product in standard form. Write final product in standard form. To go along with this lesson, in IXL, you're going to be working on, under Algebra 2, oh, I like the pink. Algebra 2, skill K.3, and remembering that 80% means you're proficient. And 100% is mastery. Let me know if you need me.